Welcome.
You are watching Line Screw 1. Well, hello tubers, hope you're doing well wherever you are in this crazy YouTube universe. I'm gonna have to apologize in advance for all the noisy air conditioning that's going on and the background noise. It's a very warm day here again in Western Canada. Probably high 90s in my area of British Columbia. It's pretty brutal. What can you do? You take the warmth when you can. Anyway, I figured I would give you an update because, as many of you often know, you prod me for new videos of certain kinds and you want to know what's going on. And I don't have as much time lately for all sorts of reasons to post videos, but I try, I do my best, at least 1 or 2 a week. So I'm not abandoning you. I'm going to keep cranking up videos of many kinds because you never know what you're going to get on my channel. That's the scrapbook nature of my channel. I know it would probably be better for analytics for my channel if I focused only on one thing, but I just don't want to do that. It's my channel. I can do as I wish. So we're going to call this video the Expat Life and the Great Exodus, Part 1. So I'm going to create a playlist, and this video will wind up there and there'll be parts, because essentially I am extricating my life from North America and moving abroad. And yes, I have not said where I'm going yet, because that's part of the great fun of, the great reveal at some point. But I will tell you this, because there's going to be a few people watching that will be exiting North America to go abroad for a variety of reasons, and it's going to be millions of people over the next 10 years from all over Western Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, USA, that are going to say, screw it, I'm going where we don't have this high Biden/Trudeau inflation. I'm going to go where I can live great. In fact, where I'm heading, some of the houses I've looked at to rent, boy, $900, I can rent a compound with a new house that I'd look like a Colombian Medellin drug cartel member. That's how far the money goes. In Vancouver, $900 a month. And it's something, you can't even rent an RV pad for that. Not in an RV park. So, gives you an idea of how far the money's gonna go. Really far, the lifestyle will be quite good. That's all I can say. But the logistics of doing this, just to give you perspective and food for thought for some of you that are going to go at some point, there's a lot of documents you gotta get ready and at least have. You have to figure out the logistics of your healthcare, how much money you're gonna need, how you're gonna transfer money. That's a big thing, transferring money from your bank accounts in Canada, United States, UK, Europe, wherever you're coming from. You got money and you need to move it, and you got a pension like I do. So I got all sorts of money moving into my bank accounts, and I need to get it to local currency. So figuring out the logistics of how to do that safely, efficiently, and with the least amount of hassle and cost. I pretty much got a handle on it, and I've got probably 3 or 4 methods as backups, because when you're overseas and 10-15,000 miles away from home, you gotta have backups, because something can happen and you need money. You need money to live wherever you are in the world, even if it's a very cheap place to live in the world. So figuring that logistics out, I'm consulting with some good friends that have done this before, and I've been talking to another fellow YouTuber who I personally know who lives in the area which I'm going. An amazing wealth of knowledge and resource, and without mentioning his name, at some point I will, I'm going to give him a big shout out. He has been very generous with his time. I've been on the phone for hours, giving him different scenarios and questions, and he's been overseas on and off for at least 5-6 years. So I want to be that same resource to you, the future expat who is about to pull the trigger. Now, the other part of the logistics is divesting, I guess is the word, myself of all the crap I have. I have a storage locker, I have multiple vehicles, I've got crap that I didn't even realize I owned, from electronics, guitars, stereo equipment. The list goes on, and I'm not going to pay for a storage locker for crap I don't need. and I'm trying to get the life down to a couple suitcases, believe it or not, and a bank account full of cash, because money moves around and carries easy. It's pretty light on the wallet compared to crap. I'm even debating about bringing one guitar, a Fender Stratocaster, over with me, and I'm even wondering, is that even necessary? I don't know, because it's not like they don't sell guitars in other parts of the world. But, you know, it's nice to have hobbies, especially when you're living that tropical lifestyle. Yeah, might as well have some hobbies. And, you know, one of the hobbies, of course, is going to be my video production work, my YouTube channel. And, you know, want to get back into music more, because I've really neglected music over the years. So, yeah, maybe I'll bring one guitar. You don't need to even bring much clothes if you're moving to someplace warm. I think I'll bring a nice suit, because there's always weddings, funerals, you know, ceremonies of various kinds. So, good to have a suit, even if they're going to bury you in it. And speaking of which, burying, we're all going to die. I need to do some estate planning here so that if I die overseas, which could happen, okay, we only live once and we can die anywhere, but I do like the idea of dying in a country that I have absolutely no business being in. And dying in a country that I have no business being in will be fine with me, absolutely fine, because, you know, somebody that grows up in Topeka, Kansas and then dies in Topeka, Kansas 80 years later, you know, not very interesting. But somebody that was born in New York City and then they die in Bali or something, that's interesting, you know. That's just an observation of mine. But I will say that it's not an easy thing, and it's going to take a few months. I got all sorts of documents to get and acquire, and I'm going to get some medical insurance is private, which is weird for us Canadians. We only carry that when we travel, but I'm willing to pay. I'm going to get a bunch of surgery done before I leave, so I can avail myself of all these taxes I've paid to Canada and get a bit of services before I leave. I think that's smart. If you do have health care wherever you're at, especially if it's free, or free to me. It's not free because taxpayers pay, but free to me. Might as well get a few things done. So between documents, selling assets and personal items, and figuring out the logistics and what you're going to do with your life and how you're going to move your life over, it takes a few months. Because why would you rush into something that important? It's stupid. It's really stupid. Now, some people, a little more intrepid, you know, I am intrepid, but some people, they can do it in a couple days. Well, maybe they got less shit than me, because I've accumulated an amazing amount of crap that I don't need, and it's amazing when I go through my storage locker and I see stuff that I've rarely used or touched, and you know, it's worth money, so might as well sell it, because I definitely have proven that I'm not using it and I'm paying to store it, so it's stupid. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go. So anyway, I have sold one of the motorcycles. You notice it's not behind me right now, and there is more crap to go. That's all I can say. I wish I knew all of you personally out there, and I could actually speak to you individually and say, hey, do you need a Canon printer? Hey, I'll give it to you if you're local. I wish I could do that, but it's not really realistic, you know, on terms of doing that online. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm busy. And when I'm not doing that, I am spending my time enjoying the things here that I can see in British Columbia and Washington State, because I do cross the border a lot, and realizing this could be one of the last summers that I'm ever going to spend here. So I'm definitely spending time with friends and acquaintances and seeing places that I may not see again. I think that's important. I'm not saying I'm not going to come back to the USA or Canada again, because I'm sure I will. But I could be coming back as a tourist 3, 4, 5, 8 years from now. So, and I have to decide what type of visa I'm going to apply for, and that requires documents. So, logistics, but I'm getting through it. I'm slowly working through it, and I don't want to be rushed. I don't want to be panicked. I want to enjoy the process. And for those of you out there, you know, I want to speak to those of you who would never leave where you're from. I want to say hurrah, and I salute you. there are still millions, tens of millions, maybe even hundreds of millions of people out there that wherever you're from, you didn't travel much, you know, or when you did, you know, maybe you saw 1 or 2, maybe 3 countries. You like where you're at, and you're kind of afraid, or you're xenophobic, or you just don't like other cultures. Good for you. I say, I tip my hat to you, and I say, don't do what I do. Don't travel a lot like I've done. Don't move to another foreign country, because you are not the type of person that should do that. You got to know your comfort zone. And the last thing that I think would happen is if everybody was the same in life, it would drive up the cost of all the things that we're all chasing. If we all chased the same dream, the same goals, living in the same place, the costs would skyrocket even more than they are now. So I like to say, those of you that are scared of traveling, scared of different cultures, different languages, different places, you know your comfort zone, and I respect it, and you should stay where you're at. Even if the Biden administration makes it crazy expensive, or the Trudeau administration, or the whatever country, fill in the blanks, wherever you're from. But it seems like the Western world is kind of going crazy with mismanagement of tax and spend and all that kind of crap. You all know that. The third world, or the developing world, doesn't have that same thing, especially with their local distribution of local products that are locally produced. Because local people in these poor countries, they can't afford, you know, flash frozen food that comes from a factory in Ohio. They don't eat that way. It don't work that way at all. Distribution isn't the same. Yeah, if you want a package of Kellogg's cornflakes and you want to buy it in an expat shopping mall somewhere, yeah, you're going to pay for that. But can you live without cornflakes, or just suck up the price? Yeah, you can, because it's not something that you're going to buy a ton of anyway. So that's how I want to end it. This is part 1 of the big expat exodus and my thoughts. And this is going to be essentially a video diary of me saying goodbye to the Western world and moving abroad forever and ever. Amen. But, you know, may you live in interesting times. And while the times here are kind of interesting in a negative way, I'd rather have my own personal life be interesting in a positive, relaxed, tropical way. And just get away from all the crazy nonsense that we all know we're suffering from here in the Western democratic nations. So, put your comments down below. Stay safe, keep your wheels in the ground, as always. And I'll talk to you soon with part 2. Over and out.
I got you.